Today we are working on this activity that's in your notes packet. It's called Using Special Right Triangles to Find Exact Values. Again, this is located in your notes packet. And this is what you're doing as far as notes for today, and then you'll use these values to do your homework assignment. Okay? So I want to show you what I'm asking you to do here, but I don't want to actually do one of these examples because that would rob you of your learning experience, and I would not do that to you. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to make up another example. I'm going to make up another triangle, and I'm just going to jot it down here on the back. You're welcome to write this down if you want to, or if you want to just follow along, that's fine. But I'll just kind of give you the idea of what you're supposed to be doing, and then you can go back to the front side and actually do it on those triangles that were given to you. So let's suppose I gave you this triangle. I'm totally making this up. These numbers probably are not accurate in any way. And I'm going to say that this is maybe a 55-degree angle, which means this would be like a 35-degree angle. And again, I'm making this up. This is going to be a 1. This is going to be square root of 2 over 4, and this is going to be 3 over 4. Okay? So this is similar to one of the triangles you have on the front side, except the numbers on the front side actually make sense for being a right triangle. Okay, so let's suppose I ask you to find sine of 55. That was almost a 5. Okay, sine of 55. Well, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is 3/4. And hypotenuse is 1. And notice, instead of writing it as like a fraction, I'm writing it with division. When I say it's opposite over hypotenuse, that's really the same thing as opposite divided by hypotenuse. Remember, this fraction bar is really just a fancy word for division. So when you're working with fractions, it's hard to write a fraction inside of a fraction. So I would just write this as division instead. Okay? Well, 3/4 divided by 1, anything divided by 1 is just itself. So this would still just be 3/4, and that would be your answer. That's like what you would put in the table down at the bottom of the page, that sine of 55 was equal to 3/4. Okay? Cosine would be very similar. So for cosine 55, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which again means division, so adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So from my 55, my adjacent would be this one here, the square root of 2 over 4, divided by hypotenuse, which is 1, and anything divided by 1 is just itself. So this would be square root of 2 over 4 as your answer. So those ones that are divided by 1 are super easy. The ones that are a little tougher are the tangents. When I go to do tangent of 55, tangent of 55 is opposite over adjacent, or opposite divided by adjacent. So opposite from 55 would be the 3/4. And then I'm going to divide by the adjacent side, which is square root of 2 over 4. That's going to be a lot messier to do your division with. Okay, I'm going to slide this up so you can see it. Okay. When you divide fractions, and you may have to think way back to like 4th or 5th grade on this, but when you divide fractions, what you really do is multiply by the reciprocal. You may have heard the expression skip, flip, multiply. So we skip this one, we flip this one, we always flip the second one, and then we multiply instead of divide, because multiplying by the reciprocal is the same as dividing. So I'm really going to turn this into 3/4 times 4 over the square root of 2. Okay? And now I'm just going to multiply straight across. So 3 times 4 is 12. And then on the bottom, I would just write this as 4 times the square root of 2. Okay, I can go ahead and simplify 12 over 4. That makes 3, and I still have a square root of 2 on the bottom here. Okay, so now I have 3 over the square root of 2. We are almost done. That's almost our answer. In fact, it is our answer, but it's not written in the way mathematicians like. Mathematicians are very funny about having square roots on the bottom. You're not allowed to have an irrational number on the bottom of a fraction. So what we have to do is something called rationalizing, and you might remember this from last year. What we're going to do with that 3 over the square root of 2 is I'm going to multiply on the bottom by another square root of 2. Because what's going to happen when I do square root of 2 times square root of 2, I'm going to get square root of 4, which is actually just equal to 2. Anytime you multiply 2 of the same square roots together, you get that number back. It's like the square roots cancel out. Okay? So that's going to get rid of the square root problem for me. When I multiply by a square root of 2 on the bottom, though, I also need to multiply by a square root of 2 on the top. Okay, to keep my fraction equal. It's like you have to multiply on the top and the bottom by the same amount. Okay, so now that I'm multiplying there, 3 times the square root of 2, I'm just going to write as 3 square root of 2, and then square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. And this would be my final answer. Okay, so that's like what I would go down and put in my table at the bottom of the page. Okay, if these numbers could simplify, if this was like a 6, and you could do 6 over 2 and make it a 3, you could do that, okay? But if not, just leave it like that. So that's really the process I'm asking you to do here for 9 different angles. So if you look at these triangles up on the front, and I realized just as I started recording this that I never gave you angle measures here, which would have been helpful. But these are the special right triangles from last year. You might not recognize them the way they're written, but they are. So this is 45 degrees, and this is also 45 degrees. Doesn't matter which one of those you use. This is 30 degrees, and this is 60 degrees. So you may want to jot those in. So when I ask you to find, if you look down in your table, sine of 45, here's my 45 degrees, and it would be opposite over hypotenuse. So you're going to do square root of 2 over 2 divided by 1 and write your final answer down in here. And you're doing that for all 9 of these, okay? Once you've got that table filled in, use your table to complete the homework assignment that I gave you, which I believe was just called practice with exact values. Anytime it says exact values, that means I want square roots left in your answer. I don't want decimals, okay? So you're not just typing sine of 45 into your calculator this time. You're writing it out as a fraction with a square root in it, okay? We will go over this on Wednesday, but I will want to see this table filled in when you come into class on Wednesday. And then we'll also go over the 2 homework assignments. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any problems with it.